Hey, welcome to I'm Right. And this is not the show yet. We've got about 4 minutes and 23 seconds before the actual show begins, and where we'll be live on video. So if you are just listening to audio, you can fast forward past this spot and get right into the show. And even if you are watching the video on replay, you can also fast forward through this part and get right into the show. For all of our listeners that just listen to audio, thank you very much, and thank you for listening to the commercials before the show begins. And try to listen to the commercials when the show ends too. That really helps us out. So thank you very much for that. But for those of you that watch live, and you will be here live tonight, remember that you can make your comments and questions live, and we will see them, and the audience will see them, and we'll read them right into the show. Because as you know, you make the show better. This is just not our show, it's your show also. Now, if you are really daring and you feel like, you got your nerve up, you can actually be in the show. You can be in the show. People can see you and hear you if you wish. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see a link there that says something like, be in the show or be part of the show. If you click on that link, all you have to do is follow the prompts, and before you know it, you'll be here in our green room. Now, don't worry, when you push those buttons, everyone is not going to see you immediately, but we will see you, and we'll let you know when we're bringing you up to the stage. So remember, that's a thing that you can do, because we actually love to see our audience. We really do. Now, we only have about 1 minute and 55 seconds till the show starts. Also, I want to thank everyone that voted for us in the Podcast Awards. And if you haven't voted yet, please vote for us, because don't you want to see us become famous? And you can help us do that. So you can go to podcastawards.com, and we're in 2 categories. We're in the People's Choice category. We're also in the Society and Culture category. Now, you have until July 31st to vote for us. So please remember to do that. Actually, you can do that right now, because we actually have 1 minute before the show starts. And I really want you to understand that you being a part of the audience, you being a listener of the show, or you being a watcher of the show, or especially someone that's here live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern watching the show, is a big deal. It's a big deal for us. And, if we win these awards, you really did have a part of that. I mean, we didn't do it alone. It's our audience that helped us do that. So tell your friends, tell people you don't know, tell people you don't like. Hey, vote for us. So we've only got about 12 seconds, and the show will go live with me and Jill Cox Cordova and Anthony Cordova. So see you in a few seconds. Wow. I'm back that quick.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Welcome. This is I'm Right,
I'm right.
and I'm Jill Cox Cordova.
I'm Anthony Cordova.
And it's Wednesday, so we're here.
We are here.
We said we would be back, and here we are.
We threatened, we made a threat, and we came through.
We came
on it.
through
That's
with
right.
it. Yes, we did. Came through. So how are you?
How am I? I'm fabulous.
That's good. How are you, audience? Check in.
Our audience is probably fabulous also.
You think
because
so?
They are
They haven't checked in yet. Tell us who's here. Who
amazing
is
people.
here with us?
Well, maybe we're going to hear crickets tonight. But it's,
Maybe.
if we hear crickets, it's okay.
It's
we
okay.
don't hold it against you. We do know that a lot of people watch the replay and listen to the replays.
And we love
So-
that too. Like we
Yes.
appreciate that you are willing to watch replays.
And it's a big deal. I mean, really, this is where our biggest numbers come from, are people that watch and listen to the replays.
That's right. That's right.
And they don't. You all don't just listen to our latest shows. Like you go.
You
back
go way
years
back. You take it back.
and listen to different shows. So that's great and amazing.
That's right. We have been doing this show since 2019. Did you
Really?
realize that? 2019. And for the first time ever, we are part of the podcastawards.com or podcast awards.
Yes.
And but in order for us to even be a finalist and certainly to win, it requires you.
Hey, see how we did
did that. We didn't see.
That
Yay!
wasn't even rehearsed.
No, we didn't plan that at all. So that means if you haven't already, and I know many of you have told me that you have, so thank you. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. But if you haven't, if you're one of the few who are listening to us tonight, and you haven't voted for us yet, please do. You can do that by going to podcastawards.com. You do have to sign up in order to vote. And the first vote you have is for People's Choice Awards. And that means that's one category that every show that's nominated gets to go into that People's Choice category. So we want to be one of the top 10. We want to be one of the finalists in that. So we need your vote to do that. We're also in a second category, which is society and culture. And that's where they usually put relationship type shows. And again, we want to be in the top 10 in that too. So please help us, please, by going to podcastawards.com. So
Cool.
that is my commercial for the day.
We have our own commercial.
We have our own commercial. That's right. That we just hosted. But we do have a topic tonight, sweetheart.
We do. Are you
do.
going to announce our topic?
I am. Tonight, everybody, catch this. We are talking about office romances. Or workplace romances. Doesn't have to be an office. It's part of a segment that we call
Stand by your stance.
Hey, there we are again. Stand
Here
by
we
your stance.
So, what is your stance? Do you think workplace romances are a good idea?
Well, in general, I say no. Not a
Why
good
not?
idea.
Why not?
No, that's an awful
A
idea.
lot of people have workplace romances because they spend all their time at work. They don't have time to go anyplace else and meet somebody.
Well, we're married and, I've
We
been
are.
out of the dating thing for
and
quite
that's-
some time.
Yes.
However,
Although we date each other.
You said you didn't want to be my girlfriend.
I want to be your girlfriend, but I still go out on dates with you.
You know what you
I'm promoted to wife.
give-
Who needs to be a girlfriend when I've been
girlfriend,
promoted
too.
to wife?
Anyway.
Anyway.
Well, and I'm not saying that people can't meet at work and have a wonderful relationship and turn it into something more meaningful and a long-term relationship and maybe have children. I don't know. It can happen. Okay,
It
and it
can.
has happened.
It has happened.
Okay,
Yes.
but for
I know.
me,
I know at least two couples, maybe three, at least two couples who met at work and they got married.
yeah, and that's a good thing.
That.
That's a good thing. But for me,
Yes.
it probably would not be a good
So
thing.
you've never had a workplace romance.
Well, I don't know if you would call it a workplace romance. I had this girlfriend. I was a teenager. I had a girlfriend at this fast food restaurant I worked at. And she worked one shift.
Okay.
But then I met this other girl that worked at the same restaurant
Oh, you
on
had
a
two.
different shift.
You had two girlfriends at the same restaurant,
I
and the two women never worked the same shift. They only worked the same shift with you at times, but they
One
they
time,
never worked the same shift, so they didn't
they
know about
never
each other.
worked the same shift, so they didn't know about each other.
Mm.
Everyone at the restaurant knew, but they did not know.
Nobody at the restaurant told them either.
It got real close one time because one of the young ladies' parents had came in during the shift of the other one,
Oh,
and they start saying how much they love me, and I was such a good boyfriend to their daughter.
oh, so they were
And-
saying this out loud in front of everybody.
Yes. And the other one was working that shift.
Oh, so she didn't
So
hear
that
though.
that one was a kind of close.
She didn't hear.
No. But what I'm saying is, for me, it probably would not have been good to have office romances. It just probably wouldn't, because my relationships tended not to last that long.
What's long, or let me rephrase the question. How long did your relationships last back then?
Weeks, months.
Oh, months even? I didn't think you would say months. I
Well,
just
no,
thought
I
you'd say
had,
weeks.
I had, but the ones that lasted more than once, those were the worst ones. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Those
So-
were
so with-
traumatic.
So with these two women,
Traumatic type relationships.
okay.
So short term for me was much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with these two women, like
Young
did-
ladies, they were
young-
young ladies. They
or-
were, we're all teenagers.
Okay.
So it doesn't count then.
Sure it does. Sure it does.
But that's not
so
not.
did they find out? Like how did this story end?
They never found out.
They never found out. Did you just break up with one and start going with the other?
Well, I was with one first. The second one, that ended. So then I was just with the first one again.
Okay.
But that's not like an office romance. That's fast food, teenagers. We're all trying to figure things out.
Okay.
And then other times where, I probably had the opportunity to have workplace romance, I did not partake
Okay.
because it's not a good idea.
So,
to me, it's not a good idea.
But back to the two young ladies.
Yeah,
So when you stopped seeing one or either of them,
yeah.
how did that go? Didn't you still have to work with them?
No, the one on the other shift, I didn't have to work with her much. Occasionally.
Okay. So
you know, when you're a teenager, you work at a fast food. Everybody works different shifts to tailor their, where they have to go to school or stuff like that. So yeah.
okay. So your stance is still not a good idea
not a good idea
for
because
office
if it
workplace
doesn't work out and you still have to work there, that gets a little tense.
Okay.
I imagine it would.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, before I weigh in on and take a stance, I want to say hi to the people who we do have people here with us tonight.
Okay, cool.
So I
love
want to
when
say
people are here.
yes, I want to say hi to everyone. So we have Stacy here. Hey,
Oh,
Stacy.
Stacey,
Good
we
evening to you
always
too.
love it when you show up. And remember to vote for us at the podcastawards.com.
It's nice to always have you
Yes.
here, Stacy. Thank you for being here. And then, hello, you two. This is Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
We are going to come see you. We
Oh,
are.
I'm probably coming to visit you sooner than Jill.
Probably.
Probably.
Because, Chris, you keep posting pictures
I'm
of
going-
snakes right by your door.
I'm gonna let you know, but it's probably gonna be soon, like within the next few months.
Yeah, he posted a picture of a copperhead, and he was like, "Poor copperhead. It wasn't
Didn't
bothering
do anything
anybody."
to anybody. That's right.
Anyway, but he
knew it
says
was
he
a
and
snake when
Tamia
you
are
took the
listening. Hi,
Cool.
hi to you too. Hi.
And they got new internet.
Do they?
Yes. How do I
Okay.
know that?
How do you know that?
How do I know that?
How do you know
Because
that?
you told me.
Oh, did I?
Yes. They got good, strong internet up there in them hills.
Okay.
They-
All right.
Up there in them hills, up there in them there mountains, they got good internet now. So
Okay. All right. But I
they're
am
gonna
going to
get
come
some
see you.
things
I just
done.
may not come as soon as he does. Okay. All right.
yeah, I'm about positive I will be there before Jill.
Probably. And he says, "Come on."
Come on.
That's how we say it in
I'm coming
Kentucky.
up.
Come on. And then we also have Charlie's here. Hello, beautiful people, he
Charlie.
says. Hi, Charlie. And
What's up,
Charlie
Charlie?
posted a picture today of his grandmother, and my grandmother and his grandmother
The same-
resemble each other.
They resemble?
They really do.
Do they have the same birthday?
I don't think so. No.
They don't have the
No,
same
he was
birthday?
responding to today is my grandmother's heavenly birthday. So that's why he saw a picture of my grandmother and then he posted a picture of his.
Cool. That is very cool.
Yep. Oh, so Tamia and Chris are saying, host a show here. And Tamia is laughing at us. I'm not sure which
Hey.
part. The snake part? Probably.
In order to host the show from your place,
Oh,
You
he
have
says,
to have-
yes, we do. They do have a better internet.
you have to have way better internet in order to host a show from like we've got
We've got two
business
iPads.
grade.
We've got a studio right here.
But really, we have business grade internet in order to do this show because it requires a lot of bandwidth.
Yep.
So.
Yes. But that still wouldn't stop us from doing a show.
But we
from there.
we could
we could
do
try
something.
that.
Yeah.
I guess
could.
that means I have to come too, huh?
Yeah.
Or
but-
maybe I could be the guest, and I
Yeah.
could we could be split screen.
Yeah, you might not be there when we do the show. You might not be there.
And so Charlie says, "Hey, kinfolk." Yep. See, we may
kinfolks.
actually be related, Charlie. I don't know. We might actually be.
Might be.
And then Connie says the Cordovas are here. Hello, Connie and
What's
Ronaldo
up,
and
y'all?
Nicole and Josh and everybody else in that there. The plants too. She's got beautiful plants, and there's the
Yes.
living beings too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm
All
glad
right.
they're all here.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So Chris and Tamia are still laughing at us.
It's true, but I'm serious. I will be up there probably within the next few months. I will let you know. We'll be in touch.
Yes, and I'll do my best to come at some point. We're gonna have to set some boundaries between the animals and me. Okay, so that's all I ask. If we can do that, I mean, I know
Yeah,
it's
talk to the snakes.
talk
And
to the
talk to the
snakes?
snakes
What
and
am I
talk
supposed
to
to say
the-
to the snake?
No,
Hello,
no.
Mr. Snake. Please don't bite me.
They can talk to the animals before you get there.
Oh.
You see, and talk to the snakes and the bears and
I'm
the
not as,
coyotes.
I'm not as,
and
as frightened of bears for some reason. Maybe because I've never seen one. But I have seen a copperhead and I've seen a rattlesnake. And I don't want to be around either ever again in my life.
well, we'll tell them to go on vacation.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you all work that out. Tell them to
But
to
you
not
know-
be there when I'm there.
But you know, you don't see many snakes in the winter.
No, you don't. That is true. So you're saying wait, I should wait till the winter.
maybe till it
but you
gets
would probably
cold.
get there
I would
sooner.
be there while it's still warm. Yes.
They're saying, "Girl, come on up." All right, if you all do all that, then I will come. And then John says, "Oh my goodness, you're back. We are back, John.
are back.
And you're
Oh.
back, John."
Hey, John, you must watch on Facebook, and it was Facebook's fault.
Yeah, it actually was. It was not.
Last
It
week.
was not us.
We were here. We did the show. The YouTubers saw us, and the people that may have watched on Jill's website saw us. But
not the Facebook. No, which is why if any of you ever pay attention to my promotions for the show, you'll see that I keep saying there are 3 ways you could watch the show, and Facebook will not be one of them in a few weeks. So I'm still
in a
holding
few weeks.
probably less time than that.
We'll see.
Soon.
We'll see. We'll see about that.
We will we shall.
We will see.
We shall.
As you can tell, we may not totally agree on the time that's going to happen.
Well,
of
we'll
when
talk
that's
about
going
it.
to
We'll talk
happen.
about it.
But we'll see.
Certain things have to happen first, but once it does, then it's just a matter of time and quick time
Yes.
with that.
Yes, we
And
will
then Chris and Tamia are saying fall. Come in the fall.
see. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fall is good.
I can handle that.
Bears start hibernating.
Okay. Again, I don't
You
think I'm
know,
as afraid of the bears.
Yeah, the bears are hibernating. The snakes are hibernating. They hibernate too, unless there's a really, really warm day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a couple of days like that. But you should be good.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking forward
John is
to it.
asking, I'm sure related to Facebook, why is it being phased out? Facebook is not being phased out. I'm phasing it out.
Well,
I'm just not a fan.
well, actually, Facebook is doing certain things with content creators.
Content. Yeah, they delete it quicker and quicker. Like
Yeah.
they say that they'll give you 30 days, but really they delete it sooner than that, and
Yes.
just a bunch of things that
So-
make me not be a fan
So
of
like
it.
like us, we do live content. So they're doing that with the people that have live content.
Right.
So
But I promise that if once we do go away from Facebook, there will be just as an even simpler way of joining us. So,
Yes.
but we'll talk about that when we get to
it's
that
very
point.
technical. It's very technical, and we have our best minds working on it.
We do. We actually do.
Which is not
As
my
we
mind. And even though Jill has a great mind, also
So do you.
it's not her mind either. We have other great minds working on it.
Yes,
So
yes. And so soon, like they're closer than ever to giving us another option where we can control what happens to our content. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our stance.
yes, your stance on I'm interested to hear
Yes.
your stance
Yes.
on office romances.
Yes. Well, you talked about being, young when you were younger.
I was
you
a
did
teenager.
certain things.
I was a teenager.
Well,
I
when
wasn't
was
in
a
my
teen-
20s. I
when
was
I-
like a teenager.
But listen, when I was a teenager, I did a lot of internships in college.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at one of my internships, one of my internships, the person who worked there full time told me that because at this particular internship, they would let me go to these fancy dinners that on-air people were supposed to go to, but none of them wanted to go to it. So they would let me go in their place. And so finally I was like, do you all not like to go out or whatever? And so the person told me, she said, I advise you to, if you're ever going to get married, to find a man who understands how intense TV news schedules are. You have to be there for breaking news. You might have to work weekends. You'll probably work most holidays, all of those things. So get someone who understands the business. So I, in my teens, took that to mean I needed to find someone in the business. So I made the mistake of marrying someone in the business.
Wait, you went from being an intern to being married?
A few years later, yeah. Because I did. A few years later. Like 5 years later.
And how old were you?
I was 24. No, actually, I was 28.
You were 28? You were almost 30.
No, I wasn't.
28.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
No, you
28.
wasn't. No, well, no.
I don't remember how. I try not to remember that part of my life, so I don't know how old I was. I was in my 20s though, and
yeah.
And actually I had interned. That's where I met when I was an intern. That's where I met him at a different internship than when she was telling me to do that, and that's where I met him. And I say it was a mistake because it became an office romance, because when I got a job at the network level, they asked me, well, what can we do to get you to work for us? And I said, you have to hire my husband.
Well, that's where you made your mistake.
That is where I made my mistake.
Yes,
and they did.
Don't hire my husband and I will come to work for you.
No, that is not what I said. They hired him, and it didn't work out while we were still working together.
It did not work out.
And
that
so
was
I was just
up,
like,
wasn't
ooh,
it?
it was, because not only was it horrible for me to see him at home and work, but now the whole newsroom was aware
everybody
that,
your business.
so
up in your business.
they really were.
Yeah.
So I even had to tell the network's lawyers, because they wanted me to sign another contract, and I couldn't do it because that meant I would have to be there with him. But they handled it very well. Once I decided, nope, I don't want to work here anymore. Because I need to get hundreds of miles away.
So you needed to divorce the man and the job.
The job wasn't that bad, but I didn't want to go there. So the job was great. HR made sure that my bosses, they sent me away for 6 weeks, but it was great. Like, I was in a hotel for 6 weeks, hundreds of miles away. It was great.
It was a divorce vacation.
It was. and because I had moved so often by then, I knew how to set up a move to Georgia, which is where I came. So, but you know what?
What?
I still didn't learn my lesson, because when I came to Georgia, I had another office romance. I did not learn my lesson. The lesson my takeaway was, don't marry your office romance. So I didn't marry the next office romance. But we worked so closely together that it was really bad when things got bad between us, because I didn't want to talk to him at all, and I certainly didn't want him to talk to me.
Yeah, I see that John has a bit of a tidbit of information about that time.
Okay. Well, wait, there's lots of messages here. Let's see what y'all are saying.
First, John is specifically about that situation.
Okay. Well, let me go back to John's, and then there's other ones. Oh.
Do you want me to press it? I'll press it. Hey, we both can press buttons.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. John says, I remember the network called me as a reference.
See, a bit of tidbit of information that,
So see, John,
that we know
John-
this is real.
That's right. John can back me up. He can back my story up. Yep. Okay, but there's some other messages too. Okay, Stacy says, I hope the replacement for live content, and we're back to Facebook, will be easy because I am not tech savvy. I promise you, it will be
This
just as
will be
easy as you're getting onto Facebook.
It will be easier than getting
Yes.
to Facebook.
Yes, because there will be just one spot to
It'll
go.
be like a direct line to us.
Yes,
It's like
yes. Ooh,
bam,
I
bam,
like that.
boom. You put it in the website, direct line. That's it.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to deal with YouTube, Facebook, or anything else,
Yep.
or any other platform. It would kind of be like our own platform.
Which is
where
our
you
whole
can-
goal.
Where you can do
Where we own our own content.
all the same
you could,
stuff.
Right. You can
easier.
still type comments and
Comments.
do everything that you all are doing
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're working on that. We've
Yep.
been working on that for a long time, actually.
Yep.
That's why we needed greater minds than ours to handle this technical issue.
Yep. And then on this one, I don't know if it's Chris or Tamia saying this, but the comment is, I did it when I was in my 20s. It's not a good idea at all. Yes, now I understand that. Now I get it.
Did it.
I get it.
Did it. So, but let's get
There's
to
one more.
Okay.
Anthony, I was wild and did too much at work. I was a manager in a technical department. They found out about my romance and I was fired.
Oh!
Why were you fired?
That's messed up.
Oh, but see, that's the other thing.
Yeah, you can get
if you
fired.
have an office romance, you have to make sure you're peers and not one's a boss of the other. Because then you do have to
yes.
report it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned my lesson though. Like no office romance.
Yeah, it's not good,
Oh,
especially
and it's Chris that's speaking.
yeah.
Okay.
Especially these days, it can just ruin everything. But some places have policy that if you do start a romance within work, you have to go to HR and
Yeah.
get
Well, it depends-
approval and let them know, hey, this is what's going on.
Yes, because things can get awkward if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, don't do it. So if there's someone you really are interested in, and it's unfortunate, but one of you need to find another
Chris was
job.
the boss. That's
and
why.
you were the boss.
Oh.
Shame on you, Chris. You should have known better.
And John says it kept me employed for a stretch. Did it now?
That must have been his boss. Pay to play. Keep your job. You better put out to keep your job, John. That's what it was.
I can't with you all tonight. Oh
That's
my
right.
goodness.
Yeah, but give something up.
yeah.
Do something.
Chris
Keep your
says, yes, it
job.
can ruin everything. It sure can. It sure can.
Ooh, wow.
But
Who knew?
well, I mean, I do think it's like I said, we do know, or at least I know couples who met at work, they married, and at least one of them, they're still together.
Yeah,
I
mean, it can work out. I'm not saying it can't work
Yes.
out. But if I were ever in that situation again, I would not have a office romance. As a matter of
If you're
fact,
ever in that situation again.
yeah, if you got rid of me or something happened and I don't
No.
know. So, but I'm hitting the mic. See, it
At
makes
the
me
risk of
nervous to
sounding like
say
a
that.
stalker, I'm never. You never get rid of me.
Get rid of you. But over the years, there were people at the office that were very interested in me, but I would not bite. I would not bite. I was, no, I can't go that way.
And you called it about John. John says, "Okay, then, yes, I put out." You called it.
That's right.
Well, our show is technically over now, so we still have one more segment to do. So let's do that.
We got time to do another segment.
We do.
Okay.
And we call this segment
I'm trying to help you.
I think we've already answered that question. Oh, you're trying to help us? We got more? Okay. You got notes.
I do have notes that so I did a LinkedIn poll that's still live, by the way. If you're on LinkedIn and you go to, you look at my profile, I have a poll there that says, are office romances a good idea? And 50%, only 50% said no. So what did the other 50% say? Yeah. 25% says, yes, it is a good idea. But the other 25% says sometimes it just depends. So that poll is open for another week. So my advice for anyone who's considering a workplace romance is I wouldn't do it. I've also known people where because they wanted to date someone they worked with, they quit their job and went someplace else so that they could have that. So if you really think that person is the one, just maybe not do it when you work at the same place. Yeah, because I can tell you from experience, it gets awkward if things go bad.
Yup.
Like it affects performance.
Yup.
It affects, the gossip, the workplace gossip.
It affects your car tires.
Oh. Well, I guess
you all know what I'm talking about.
I also found a Forbes poll that said 40% have cheated on their current partner with a coworker, which that's really bad. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, it opens that door because, another person on the outside looking in and they're like, oh, what do they have that I don't have? Well, I'm going, go in there and show that I got more to offer.
Well, my only advice is if you do try to date or hook up with somebody you work with, 30% in this Forbes poll, they actually created a breakup plan. What do we do? Let's agree on what we're going to do if things don't go well with this relationship. Before the relationship really starts.
I would like to hear how many of those breakup plans actually work. I bet you none of them work.
You don't think so?
I mean,
you could talk it calmly, like if we.
I bet you zero people make it work. The breakup plan. That's we need to do a show on that.
When people get all in their feelings, they may not think
emotions are
as
involved.
Rationally.
Emotions are involved and all of that. Even when getting divorced, emotions are high when you get divorced, and you will do and say things that maybe you never would have done and said before because all this emotions and pain.
That is true.
All of that is going on. So
that is true.
I don't think that's those breakup contracts work.
I guess, in terms of how you're going to treat your job, maybe that part still works.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, especially if they have to work hand in hand
together.
All the time.
Trust me, that doesn't work. John says, time for a new segment called The Confessional Booth. Ooh, I like that idea. Ooh, wonder what we could get you all to confess.
I don't like that segment.
I'm not
confessing nothing.
For them, not us. And then, things can go wrong. Like, you get your car windows burst. Like
car
Chris and Tamia say, they're threats.
Tires, your house.
And
your house, stuff can happen to your house.
Oh, yeah, like that time somebody, tried to burn the bushes around a friend's house.
That was kind of like
That-
trying to set the house
House
on fire.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yep. And this is a great quote to end tonight's segment on from Chris and Tamia. Side pieces, everybody, do not work. You're asking for trauma. That's a great quote to end on.
We need to do a show on that. That's
Side
a good
pieces?
topic. Yes.
All right, I'm going to write that
Yeah,
down.
write
Side
that down.
pieces
Yes.
do not work.
Yeah, that way we didn't do that one.
Okay.
Just laughing thinking about
That'll
it.
be fun.
I have a. Oh yeah, that my little wheels are turning now.
Oh, so you already planned out the whole episode?
Yes, we getting that
Okay.
episode together.
Okay.
We.
And they have one more comment. Confessional booth. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What? So now I really want to know everybody's confessions.
I don't think anybody wants to do the confessional.
No, you don't
booth.
think so?
No, I don't
We
think
could make
that's-
it anonymous.
Really?
Yeah, they could, like, you have a call-in number. We can make it anonymous. Like, we would know, maybe, but they don't. I mean, they don't even have to say their name.
We do have a call-in number, although we never use it.
We never use
'cause
it in this
You
format.
keep telling me that I don't want a call-in number.
I do keep saying that. But for a confessional booth, that could be fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of capabilities, so we can have people call in during the show and play their audio if we wished.
We do?
Oh yes, I know I do a lot of stuff over here.
We might have to test that out. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's start closing out the show, Jill. All right. Here we go. After show, anyone? We need your input, just like the confessional show or any other idea you have. And maybe we will do the show. So check us out, Facebook, YouTube, and let us know. Also, remember to come check us out, and I know everyone that's there in the audience tonight remembers to come check us out. I'm right, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And you can also watch the show from Jill's website, which is jillcoxcordova.com. There you go.
And
All right.
John says we could also, instead of calling it the confessional booth, we could call it the laundry segment.
That's a good one, too. You do the laundry segment.
I like that.
Cool.
I do like that.
All right, everyone. We're going to bid you a good night. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place.
Oh,
Yeah, just
All
like
right.
that. And remember to vote for us
Yep.
at the Podcast Awards. And you all will make us famous.
all right. Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Love you all.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.